So I said to her, "The only good man is a dead man." To which Mother Dearest replied, "Well, if that were true, darling, then vampiric men would be the most upstanding of us all. And yet here we are." Ladies, do excuse me. It appears that one of my thralls requires my attention. See how they linger at the edge of the crowd, making prolonged eye contact. Well, you know how thralls can be. Oh, please, enjoy yourselves. This is a ball. Dance and make merry, I insist. Tristan, you are my favored servant, a dear companion since I first woke into this life, but I do have my limits. You are aware I instructed each of you specifically that I'm to entertain no interruptions tonight. Can this not wait? Fine. What is it? What? What do you mean What do you mean the werewolf has been injured? Broke in? Beat her up? You mean to tell me 2 of the guests in attendance located where she is being held waltzed into the room without opposition and while this was happening, where were the thralls who were supposed to be stationed there? My ward was harmed because of this negligence. All of you are fully aware that she was restrained so that she cannot change into her wolf form, and that, in turn, makes her utterly vulnerable and unable to protect herself. No one should have been away from their assigned post for any reason. What is the extent of the damage? I see. So the thralls assigned to her cell returned after investigating a strange noise, possibly a distraction, heard the ruckus, and were able to stop the attack before it progressed further. You say she is all right, then? She was hastily bandaged and appears to not be too badly hurt, all things considered. Good. That's good. Have the assailants been detained? Very well, then. Take the werewolf to the spare bedroom upstairs, the one with no windows, and have 2 thralls stand guard outside. Make sure they are aware of the repercussions if they leave their post. I will speak first with my guests. The ball simply cannot continue, not when such a brazen declaration of violence has been committed on my territory. After which, I will speak with the vagrants in question, and then I will come to see her myself. May I have your attention, dear guests? Oh, thank you. As you all know, I decided to host this ball in my ancestral home tonight as a way to ease the loss of our beloved leader and bring our people together. As a concerned member of our community who wants only to see each of us thrive, it brings me much joy to see your shining faces here after how trying these past few weeks have been. I am very grateful to each and every one of you for attending, and I hope this outing, perhaps, was able to alleviate some of your feelings of trepidation and uncertainty. We must always remember that we are of the vampiric race, and we are stronger together than we are apart. With that being said, I regret to inform you all that I must end the party earlier than intended. I have been abruptly called away on most urgent business. My bloodmother, as you all know, is a member of the council and has bade me to come to her side at once. Matters regarding the upcoming trial, you see, can't be helped. And what is a ball without its host? Oh, it was so good to see all of your faces, and I am sure I will see them again quite soon, hopefully under better circumstances. I bid you all good eve. My thralls will oversee your exit. Now please do excuse me. Ah, Tristan, you return. I just spoke to the other vampires, fed them a story believable enough for consumption, and now make my way down below. You said the perpetrators remain in the hallway outside the cell, yes? Please accompany me. I could use your presence while I confront them. The sheer gall of them to behave this way in my home. How fares the girl? I am glad to hear she is resting, at least. Now, stay quiet while I speak to these imbeciles. Well, what have we here? To chastise so-called high-born vampires who thought they were within their rights to lay blows on an incapacitated werewolf on my territory. Oh, you certainly must be proud of yourselves, bringing such honor to your respective houses with your base nature on full display. I do not care to hear your bluster, your self-righteous reasoning. Regardless of what you say, the fact remains. That werewolf is currently under my care, a recipient of my protection. Any attack you make on her on these grounds is an attack on me and mine. And need I remind you of who my blood mother is, of her standing on the council? Think hard, if you can, before you continue to take this pathetic stance of taking justice into your own hands. You know full well the upcoming trial will decide the guilt, or even, perhaps, the innocence of the accused once and for all. But then again, neither of you care about justice, do you? What is fairness upheld in the eyes of our law to you, when you would rather easily pin the blame on those you see as less than and punish them how you see fit? I am not defending her because I care for her, as you accuse me of. Do you hear yourselves? I am merely of a mind to wait for the trial before leaping to acts of foolishness. You take me for a werewolf sympathizer because I am housing her. Well, no one else would, and if left to you lot, she would be torn apart before trial could take place. Which is not what we want. We are a civilized society. So what if I feel sorry for her in her state? Do you look at a stray cat limping in an alley, bones jutting through its fur and fighting others for survival, and not feel an ounce of sympathy? Am I to be scorned simply for pitying the animal and feeling as though someone ought to defend it? You are dismissed from my household henceforth, and I must insist you do not return. I will ensure there are consequences if you do. My servants here will see you off the property. Take them away. Absolute backwards nincompoops. Oh, if I didn't have an image to uphold, You're right, Tristan. They are not worth thinking of further. I know I should let her rest, but I need to see her. I can't help but feel responsible. Yes, I know what I'm doing. I do. Don't look at me like that. I will speak to you at a later time. For now, I will be upstairs, if you have need of me. Oh, you are awake. I wasn't entirely expecting you to. Oh, puppy, look at the state you're in. all these bandages. It looks worse than it feels. You are a strong, brave girl, but you don't have to lie for my benefit. Your face is already starting to bruise quite horrendously. I'm sorry. I know the words of someone you undoubtedly view as your captor cannot possibly mean anything. But I assure you it was never my intent for you to be accosted in my own home, unable to defend yourself. This should not have happened. You say you don't blame me, but the fact remains that I should have known better. Everyone is aware that I am keeping you here temporarily. I should have anticipated that there resided among my guests those who would seek you out to hurt you and better protected you. No, you mustn't speak so adamantly on my behalf like this. Not when you are unaware of the reason why you are here to begin with, of why I really took you in. I didn't decide to house you out of the goodness of my heart. I volunteered to keep you here prior to your trial solely because of my own ambition. My ambition to become a member of our council. No, you wouldn't understand. I've read that you werewolves have your own hierarchy of predetermined roles. Our council, on the other hand, it is comprised of the most influential minds of our kind, essentially the backbone of our society. Our leader is the face of our people and makes all the final calls similar to your alphas. But the council keeps the leader in check, sways their decisions, alters the course of history. And whoever among them plays their cards right will be next in line to lead us all. I don't expect you to understand the appeal. You've always been who you are. Werewolves, after all, are born, not made. I was different when I was a human. Overlooked, weak, subservient, scared of everything. You look surprised, but it's true. When I awoke fully as a vampire, it was a glorious second chance to be something more. And what I wanted more than anything were things I never had when my heart still beat in my chest. A voice, respect, power. How does that tie in with you? Well, each council member is to name a successor to their seat, someone to replace them in the event of their final death. My blood mother, my creator, is a well-regarded member, and I've strived to emulate her in all things. I'm the favorite of her children, I know I am. Yet she has not named a successor as of now and refuses to bestow the honor upon me. She tells me it is because I want it too much. What sort of ridiculous... I thought that by showing how willing I was to assist the council during this trying time, taking you off their hands when no one else would, essentially being a selfless, upstanding citizen. Oh, perhaps that would make my mother finally see reason and realize how deserving I am to follow in her footsteps. I thought nothing much of you at the time, at the gathering where you were first presented for your crime before those of the council and us of a higher standing. You were simply a means to an end. And now, you ask. And now? The vampires who attacked you, they asked me why I bothered to defend you, why I have extended my protection to you. I told them it was because I pity you. I don't pity you. I admire you. The way even now you resolutely refuse to change your story, to admit to either guilt or innocence. The way your wild spirit shines in your eyes, unable to be crushed. Even when I first laid eyes on you, chained and snarling defiantly at everyone around you, I couldn't help but think how utterly fearless you were. For a mutt, I mean. I know if you hadn't been held back as you were, they would never have been able to lay hand on you in such a manner, would they? And yet, for some reason, you proud, glorious creature, you allow me to touch you in ways that normally should be reserved for one you have an intimate relationship with. Even when you growl at me and talk back to me, there's no bite to it. Not like that first time I saw you. Why is that? No need to answer. It's almost funny, you know. You're a werewolf, supposed to be a lesser being than I, a member of the elevated race of vampires. But when I look at you and speak to you, touch you even, I cannot help but think that perhaps we are not that much different, and one race should not hold dominion over another, certainly not enough to solely decide their fate. I have felt this way for some decades now, yet I am ashamed to say that I was content in my unspoken ambivalence. But what happened tonight, it is quite clear to me that things need to change. No, I'm not a good person deep down. Don't fool yourself just because I treat you as decently as can be afforded under the circumstances. If I were a good person, there would not be so much blood on my hands from things I have done in the past of my own volition, even after the blood haze of my fledgling life had transpired. You know what I choose to show you, but you don't know me. You killing our leader. If you had good reason to do so, as you claim you do, know then that you would most likely have just as good reason to do the same to me. I'm not surprised that you don't regret your actions, even if you won't tell me your reason for them. Perhaps don't express that line of thinking at your trial, however. You say you know me well enough from the side of myself I show and the side I don't. And what, pray tell, do you mean by that? Well, of course I read up on werewolves for you. I ought to be knowledgeable about the one in my care. Yes, I helped you with your heat, but only because it could have caused problems down the line. That is all. You claim that behind my facade of self-assuredness, you've seen the flashes of uncertainty, regret, and sympathy that slip through. And because of this, you feel that I am not wholly bad. You are so peculiar. Even after I confess that I used your misfortune for my own gain, you still... I really don't quite understand you, Bobby. Wait, what are you doing? Stop struggling to sit up like that. You're injured. You shouldn't overexert yourself. You'll end up bleeding through your bandages, and then where will you be? Look, just lay back down and... Puppy, don't be so stubborn. Would you please... Oh, now look what you've done. I told you you'll bleed through... What? What the hell? Why does your blood smell like that? It smells enticing and delicious. Don't move, please. I'm finding it very difficult to keep myself in check, and if you move, I might just... Fuck. What is going on? Werewolf blood is supposed to be unappealing to vampires. I never would have let my guard down if I had known. Well, the overpowering scent of wet dog must have been hiding your blood's aroma from me. But that doesn't explain why... No, I have not fed a fresh blood straight from the source in some time. And I certainly have not smelled any blood this tantalizing before. I'm as surprised as you, believe me. I will take my leave and have one of my thralls come to rebandage the wounds. Yes, I have to go before... What do you mean you want me to stay? Puppy, I think it is quite clear that I am having to hold myself back. You do not want me here. You don't want me to hold back. You're inviting me to feed on you. Are you out of your mind? Oh, if just the smell of your blood alone is this enticing, I could easily lose control and train you. You don't think I would. You underestimate how easy it is to lose oneself to the blood haze. And I don't want to hurt you. You trust me, and because I helped you with your heat, you think it's only right to return the favor. Oh, puppy, you are so adorably sincere. Oh, I really could just eat you right up. If you really want to allow me to do this, I will need your express permission. But not until you understand what you are consenting to. This is taboo for both of our kinds. So already that is dangerous in itself. Upon sinking into living flesh, vampires' fangs excrete a venom akin to both morphine and aphrodisiac. Assuming it affects a werewolf the same as a human, you will experience varying levels of muscle relaxation and pain relief, which may benefit your present state, but you may also experience some arousal. And on my end, I will do my best to not go overboard, but the higher the quality of blood, the more likely I am to become quite feral, possibly to the point of arousal as well. I may feel compelled to satiate myself with you in more ways than one, so you must know what you're getting into before you consent. You really should listen to me and not tempt me further. Okay, all right. You consent. And now you bare your neck to me of your own volition. Fuck. Oh, I can't hold myself back anymore, puppy. I'm really quite desperate to feed. I need to feast on that pretty neck of yours